We're not queer. Ever. That's it. All right. Let's see if we get a computer screen going here and some 5x5s, and we'll see if we can get the show started. Party on, dude. Anybody remember what movie that's from? All right. Let's see. First off, we got to get rid of the ad. Oh, joy. We get one on the side, too. Let's get rid of that. And we'll move this all around. All right. See, Mortimer, Storm Chasing Gal, Pennsylvania Mama Bear, Prep Revel, Happy Trails, Smoking Swamp, Connie B, Claudia Claveri. Okay, a bunch of 5x5s. Hello, gang. Welcome to Tuesday. So let's see how the world is treating everybody tonight. Kind of fun. The Biden administration is completely blowing up in front of us. It's kind of funny. Kamala Harris comes out yesterday and says, "Yep, I'm ready to take over." Of course, that backfired on everybody, going, nobody said you're taking over. And you got John Kirby bitching about little orphan, whatever the freak you want to call her. He's all upset because he's not the press secretary. And of course, Hunter's defense kind of completely came apart today in his gun trial because they introduced evidence about him taking pictures of his drug use, even though he said on his gun permit form that he didn't use drugs. Yet on his phone, he had pictures of cocaine and crack and everything like that. Of course, we had yesterday Joe hitting his head on Marine Corps One. It's hilarious to watch this. The comedy of errors that is, Bozo's Circus didn't have as many clowns as the Biden administration does. But saw somebody commented here about gas going up. Yeah, I saw that too. You said 40 cents in the last month. I've seen 30 cents in a week. We went from 269 to 299 here. Of course, might have something to do with inflation, like I talked about this morning or at lunchtime. The crazy idiocy that's going on. Anything that can go wrong is right now. Like I mentioned, Chicago. Pick what's going on the southern border. 22 senators today, if they're up for re-election, the ones that are up for re-election this year, just put a nail in their coffin. Though Mitch McConnell still runs the money, so that'll be the interesting part. He certainly wouldn't ever release funds to a candidate who opposed him, because we've got to have, was it 51 Democrats in there plus 22 rhinos, so that's all right. John Kennedy from Louisiana surprised the crap out of me. I completely lost all respect for you today, Mr. Kennedy, for voting for funding Ukraine and not funding the United States. So as much as this pains me to say it, I hope you are voted out. You are not what this country needs. We need people that are going to put America first, not America last, not America 33rd, not America second, America first. Our tax dollars go here. I've said this my entire life. I am sick and tired of us, pick something, the churches, the children's funds, the charities, whatever. Oh, we've got to send food to Ethiopia. Screw that. Send food to Philadelphia. Okay. When every kid in this country goes to bed with a full belly, then you can talk about sending money anywhere else. Until then, right here. Okay. I don't care. Right. I will stand up for any American, liberal included, over a foreigner. But I'm sorry. If you guys saw the graphic that I posted today on the community board about all these wonderful jobs Joe's created, take a look who they went to. They didn't go to American citizens. They all went to foreigners. We've had American citizens lose jobs in the Biden administration. Lots of them. okay, the overwhelming, well, all of the increase in jobs plus some have gone to immigrants. Now, somebody can say, well, gee, it's an immigrant. They need to get a job too. Okay, I'm going to give you this. You all know I've spent over 20 years as a corporate recruiter. All right. First off, everybody knows what E-Verify is. It's not legal to hire somebody who's not an American citizen in the United States, okay, as an illegal alien, I'm meaning, okay. As for a work visa, which you hear this all the time, the H-1Bs, the H-2Bs, whatever what's going to be. Here's the criteria, the legal criteria for it. In order for a company to legally be able to hire somebody on a worker's visa, they must be able to prove that they have exhausted all possibilities of finding an American citizen who could perform the job. What is not included in that is salary. Nowhere does it say cannot do the job for the amount of money you want to pay. Okay, it's cannot do the job, has the skills. Therefore, the excuse of these companies saying, well, labor's too expensive, that's why we want to hire illegals, ain't legal, okay? This is why we want to hire H-1Bs. No, you can hire them. They can stay in India, they can stay in Pakistan, they can stay in China, they can stay in Russia, and you can do all that, just like all these customer service centers that are halfway around the world, okay? But every company who has an H-1B as an employee, I guarantee you, if there was ever an audit on them by the Department of Labor, yeah, right, okay, again, 20 years in recruiting, okay, I guarantee you they will find the companies have committed crimes. This is the problem. This is the problem we have with our country. This is the problem we have with this administration, is it's Americans with the N at the end there, last. The people in Chicago, like I told you about today, they aren't getting the assistance that the illegals are getting. They're pissed. The American public, the American citizen public, is losing jobs. They're pissed. I've talked many times about, and you guys have emailed me many times, about having to train your foreign replacement, who guaranteed was making at least 30% less than you were, and that's why you got replaced. Okay? Americans have had it. This is our country. This is not their country. Sure, were we fortunate enough to be born here, and therefore it's our country? Yes. Were we fortunate enough, or were we fortunate enough to go through the legal system to become an American citizen? Mrs. P, probably some of, and Prep Rebel for sure, okay, and probably a bunch more of you are first generation here, or if you're second generation, or if you're like me and you're third generation, your family came here legally, okay, and they worked it out. They didn't ask for handouts. They didn't ask for reparations. It came out today, some school in Missouri is now, some Jesuit school, ironically, is coming up and saying we have to pay $72 billion in reparations for the slaves that built the school. No, they are owed exactly that amount of money. None. Okay? Zero. If they ever pay 1 penny in reparations anywhere in this country, Civil War just broke out. I told Mrs. P, I said, I can see what'll happen if reparations ever comes out. They have just reintroduced segregation to the United States in one fell swoop, because you'll go into Walmart and there'll be the pack of toilet paper and it'll have the white price and the black price. And that's exactly how it is. $1, $100. That'll be how that'll work. Okay. You can't do that. Sure they can. They can do whatever they want. You opened up the door to segregation, that's what'll happen. Mark my words. So, yeah, I mean, all this America last crap, all of this not joining together as one and fighting the enemies of the world, China, I'm talking to you, okay? Yeah, that's going to bite us in the butt. And if it means getting rid of Democrats, good. I mean, you've got uh, the California State Congress right now, right? Take it back. What was it? The debates for the to replace Dianne Feinstein. One of the candidates said, absolutely, there needs to be an age limit for people to serve in government. Okay, which of course was aimed at Trump and Biden. Okay, I'm I'm patting Gavin Newsom on the back here, talking out the side of my mouth. But I looked at that and I go, yeah, it's a good thing there isn't an IQ test because the Democrat Party would cease to exist. I mean, I've never met an intelligent Democrat. They may think they are, but you actually have any sort of conversation with them, and they are dumb as a box of rocks. Instantly, within one fact you throw out to them, my feelings, that's racist. That's exactly what happens. Okay. Yeah, there is no such thing as an intelligent liberal. End of story. All right, so you get to hear me rant a little bit to start tonight. Okay. All right, let's get into Q&A here tonight. We will do this as normal, explain how this all works. If you've got questions for me, please put them in all caps, just like every other YouTube channel. Makes it easier for me to find the questions. The only thing I require is that everybody in here be polite, treat each other nicely. This is what we're here for. We're here for community, camaraderie, fellowship, etc., etc. We're not here to bitch. If you want to bitch, leave. I don't mind disagreements. That's fine. Just do it politely. Okay. If you're a Democrat, I would advise you leave. It's simple as that. Okay. Because I'm not going to pull any punches there. All right. Let's get to the top. Yeah, because you're a Democrat, you're not going to like what I have to say. If you haven't already figured that one out. All right, so let's see where we are. Wow, we have a lot of talking already going on. All right, we'll skip that one. Soapy Gal, this week's illnesses, bubonic plague and Alaska pox. Yeah, so we had the first case of bubonic plague. I believe that was in Oregon. We had the first fatality of Alaska pox. We'll see if these lead into anything. I mean, I'm not discounting them because, I still remember the first couple of days of COVID, and it was like, there's 3 people that died from it, and everybody was like, this ain't a big deal. Okay. And then things went on. All right. But paying attention to them, yes. Worried about them, no. David Haley, if I haven't heard, the House impeached Mayorkas. Yep. Not that it'll go anywhere. That's, again, I think you guys got more important things to do. Okay. It's kind of funny where the priorities lie in both houses of Congress right now. The Senate is hell-bent on sending money to Ukraine. The House said that's not going to happen. The House has said, we're going to impeach Mayorkas, and the Senate is like, that's dead on arrival. So all this, understand, guys, all of this right now is political posturing. Nothing is to get done. All they're trying to do is put their name on the record of doing something so they can come up in campaign season, which is coming up quickly, and say, I voted for this and it didn't matter. It didn't go anywhere. They all knew it wasn't going anywhere. It's all political posturing. They all knew that any impeachment to Mayorkas was not going to clear the Senate. The Senate knows that their idiotic $95 billion bill today ain't going anywhere. But they're trying to entice people. Well, look, we understand what you think about that Mayorkas is screwed up, so we're voting this way. We all know he's screwed up. Okay. It ain't going anywhere, so it's a waste of time. Okay. They're not going to. You're not going to change anybody's mind. I mean, let me ask you this. Do you know anybody in your circle? I don't care if it's family, friends, coworkers, whatever. Do you know anybody in your circle right now who doesn't already know who they're going to vote for president in November? Anybody who's going, I'm still debating. I don't know if it's going to be Biden or Trump who I'm going to vote for. Why bother having the conversation? You're not going to change their mind. Okay. Everybody's already made up their mind. We can hold the election today and we will have the exact same results that we have on November 5th. Sword 5000 gas in Southwest Ohio is $2.29, and there's not much of a brand selection at the groceries. Gas is $2.29? $2.29? I'd be filling up gas and gas cans and driving across the border and saying, who needs 5 gallons of gas? I'll send it to you, sell it to you for $14. And they'll go, cool, that's cheap. Susan Musser, where's my hat? It's on Saturday. Today's Tuesday. Let's see. VG 426, South Carolina's been over $3 for a month. Maybe you need to go to Ohio to get gas. Just saying. North Alabama hiking. How's the diet going? I'm hanging in there on my low carb. Good deal. Diet is still going fast and full forward. This morning I was down total this morning since the beginning, down 13 pounds. So I actually was down 16 yesterday and somehow added 3 pounds. But like I said to Mrs. P, a diet isn't like this. It's like this. So, but yep, still going fine. You know, I'm in what, day 9 at this point? Day 10? Day 10. Yeah, day 10. So almost through the first two hell weeks. So, no, it hasn't been bad. So, Amy Arsenault, hey, I was once on the Bozo show. True story. I was actually in the audience one time. I didn't get picked to play Bozo Buckets, but I was in the audience one time in Chicago. Yes. I don't know. I was probably 6, 5, something like that. Nah, probably 6. My brother was old enough. My brother was 3 years younger than me. Yeah, I was probably 6. Mark Alexander, did Potato Head pay the $7 million for the Super Bowl ad? Who knows? Who cares? I mean, there was just more bad press. I mean, I know everybody will say, you know, there's no such thing as bad press. All press is good press. I don't know. If I was Joe, I'd try to keep my name out of the press for a while. Redneck Renegade, gas went from $2.59 to $3.09 in Western Kentucky. Maybe you need to go to Ohio. No, I get it. It's climbing like everywhere. Trilo, Kennedy said he was not going to run again. He said he couldn't stand the swamp any longer. Well, because he, on his farewell tour, he decided to become a swamp creature. You know, don't ask me. More gas. Yeah. Oh, Wise Dove. Yeah, you pick up a good one. Joe Biden is now on TikTok. You literally can't make this stuff up. Yeah. A year ago, after banning TikTok from all federal devices, Joe Biden's now on TikTok. Okay. Hey, Xi Jinping told him that he needs to do it. That's the only way they have any control over election interference, right? Yes, electrolytes in my water. Granite State Man, thank you for the super chat. Do I think NATO troops will be sent to Ukraine in 2024? I thought they were going to be sent in 2023, but Ukraine has been, the whole deal has been so quiet lately. I mean, even reading the European news stuff, guys, there ain't a whole lot going on. So if I had a bet, I'd say probably no. You know, I have a tendency to think that nothing's going on because Ukraine's waiting to see if they get more money, and Russia's pretty much accomplished what they're going to do. They're just waiting out Ukraine to surrender. So No, I don't stand with Ukraine. No, I don't stand with Russia either. Okay. Uh, you guys can make all the okra jokes you want. I'm just going to skip them all. Let's see. Michael Ahrens, please talk about the poison pill in this bill that prevents stopping the funding. We don't need to worry about a poison pill as long as the House doesn't bring it up. Okay, and that's Mike Johnson's responsibility. I mean, this is him as political suicide. If he brings that up to vote, he might as well step down from being speaker. Uh, the other part is, remember all the continuing resolutions we've had to fund the government. Okay. Well, the next one expires March 1st. And, that's what, 2 weeks away? The House has something a little more pertinent to worry about, like how to pay the bills, how to pay for the military, how to pay all that interest we owe China. We got to figure out how to do that, not how to give more money to Zelensky to launder back to Joe. So, yeah, I don't really see anything to stop it. The stop is simple. The buck stops here. It gets to Mike Johnson's desk and he goes, just like Nancy Pelosi did with Trump's speech. Not interested. Throw it out. Okay. 91 Cav GT, what do I think about the Candida auris outbreak? I have no idea what that is. So I can't answer. Winter Homestead, how's carnivore going? Deliciously. Had meatballs for dinner tonight, so that was good. That's it. Meatballs. That was it. So, Closet Prepper 894 Pinball. My soil said fertilized with cottonseed meal. Okay, I've never needed to use cottonseed meal. So what is cottonseed meal good for? Hang on, I'll look it up. For gardens. Okay. Again, I don't know what cottonseed meal is used for. I've never used it in my life. Just one here. I'm seeing it's recommended for acid-loving plants such as azaleas, rhododendrons, and camellias. So, I mean, if it's a soil acidifier, yeah, I really can't give you a good answer. I don't. I've never used cottonseed meal, and I don't know what its purpose is in the garden. So I don't want to give you bad advice. Let's put it that way. Whoops, we just shot to the bottom. Scrolling up. Okay, finding where we were. Here we go. Rick's Corner. What are my thoughts on Dan Bongino? For the most part, I like him. Like anybody else, just like me, okay, I'm not going to say, oh, 100% I agree with him. I don't expect you guys to agree with me 100%, okay? Most of the stuff Dan Bongino's right on. Some of the stuff I disagree with him. I mean, you know my thoughts on Rumble. Rumble's a criminal organization. It's a scam. You'll never see me on Rumble again. Bongino is a big investor into that in my opinion makes him complicit to the theft that is going on at Rumble. But Are his political views in the right spot? Yes. Are his motivators correct? No. So, Husky Mom, carnivore looks like it's going well. Thinner through the face and the neck. Congratulations. Okay. I didn't take measurements of my neck or my face. Uh, I don't see any difference there whatsoever. Like I said, a dozen pounds is nothing. I mean, all things considered, I mean, do the math. That's what my brain shot. 12 pounds on 309 pounds. I don't know, what is that in body weight? Well, I'm getting old. If I'm getting old, yeah, that about 4% of my body weight. Okay, fine, we'll take that. Yeah, if at 57, I can't do simple math in my head. I don't think Joe can at 81. But hey, 33 billion, 34 billion, what's the difference? Yeah, that was funny today. I saw a story today that Bezos is selling Amazon stock like crazy, and he's only the number 2 richest man in the world. He's only $5.9 billion behind Elon Musk to be the richest man in the world. Only 5.9 billion. Hey, no problem. I'll cover that for you. Don't worry. When an article mentions $5.9 billion like it's a trivial amount of money, I mean, there probably isn't $5.9 billion collectively in this entire county, let alone maybe, hell, probably in Knoxville. I look thinner. Thank you. Your attempts at encouraging me are appreciated. Thank you. Prayerful EA, why don't we require previous real job experience, not in politics, of Congress presidents? Well, that's up to us. I mean, and I'm going to give you a couple of things here. Okay. If you go back to 1776, all right, government was never meant to be a job. Government was meant, they came in, they did the business, they went back home to their farms, to their stores, to whatever they did. Okay, that was it. The reason we vote on Tuesday, there actually is a reason. It's not like somebody just decided to pick that one out. It was so they had travel time to get so people had travel time to get to vote over the weekend, to minimize the amount of business, if you will, that would suffer while people took the time to go vote. Okay, it wasn't, you didn't have mail-in voting back 250 years ago. But that was it. It's the same thing with Congress. Congress met for a short period of time, and then everybody went back to their jobs. The professional politicians only came into play 100 or so years later, when people figured, hey, I can just make money off of doing this. And then of course it got worse and worse and worse, and then of course we got into well, now politicians all need to be lawyers, and that's kind of backing off now, because again, the only good place for a lawyer to live is at the bottom of the ocean. Certainly not in Washington. So we're starting to get more, I don't want to say Joe averages, but more doctors or business owners or people that aren't lawyers in Washington, which is good because it's supposed to be a mishmash. Okay. But why don't we require it? That's our own damn fault. We elect these people. It's the same thing I say about everybody, and I agree with term limits, don't get me wrong, okay? But it's the same thing, and I agree with the argument when people say, well, we need to have term limits. We do. It's called election day. If everybody says, you know what? We know this guy's been there for 8 years or 12 years. That's enough. Vote for the next guy. But the problem is, when they reelect a Joe Biden, a brain dead amoeba, for 40 some odd years, yeah, who's to fault? The people, okay? What we're all bitching about, and I say collectively as the United States, we have complete control about. But this is the problem with this country, is it's always somebody else's fault. Well, they need to make a law about that. No, we need to have less laws in this country, not more. That's the thing. You know, I mean, I don't want to live anywhere where it's like I'm told when I have to get up, what I have to have for breakfast, when I can leave my house, what I have to have for lunch, what I have to have for dinner, when I have to go to bed. That's what some of these people are asking for. They want their entire life scripted for them. This isn't freaking Hollywood. Okay? You know, make a decision. Accept responsibility for what you've done. I understand that's a foreign concept to 99% of this country. That's why we're in the problem we're in, because it's not my fault. Mitch McConnell's been in office forever. Oh, well, it's because they give him all the money and some other guys. Money doesn't mean shit. Okay. I don't care about you can buy, I mean, Hillary Clinton outspent Donald Trump. Donald Trump won, right? Okay. Money doesn't mean squat. Yeah. If we don't want somebody in politics, vote them out. You know, signs on the side of the road and commercials on YouTube don't sway my vote. I mean, I drive past this every time I go into town. There's this one idiot here up between me and Tazewell. He had his Mike Pence for president sign up until Mike Pence lost. Now he's got his Nikki Haley for president. I'm like, all right, dumbass. I mean, do you want to just admit you are a complete moron? Okay. But, you know, think, you know, that's all we're asking. That's all I'm asking the rest of the population to do. You guys do it. You know, there's 1,600 of you in here. I mean, that's what, 5/100ths of the population, or 5/1000ths of the population of the United States. Okay. Gee, we need more than 1,600 thinking people in this country. Country Humans Network, a 6-hour wait from the emergency room today in Minnesota. Yeah, I wonder how many illegal Somalis were in front of you. Hedge 774, serious question, Pinball. Did I have to give up beer on carnivore? Absolutely. Okay, hang on a second. No, I'm not going to open up either one of them. Okay. See if I can see on here. Do they say? All right. Kenny Inglings does not say the carbs in here. In a Bush NA, 13.44 carbs in a non-alcoholic beer. Yeah. Where my weight is, like I said, it's not from sweets, it's not from sugar. I mean, I know things convert to sugar in your body. It's almost an intake. Okay. No bakery, candy, that sort of stuff. My intake was carbs. 13.4 carbs in one NA beer. That'd do it. Okay. You know, I wouldn't doubt that I could lose a decent amount of weight just by giving up the beer. So yes, I did. Okay. Yeah. No. One thing about carnivore is no drinking, period. The only thing you're drinking is water, and once a day, put electrolytes in them. Just to make sure. And even then, a lot of people say you don't have to do that. So I'm just doing it as I start. Love Raccoons. What does Mrs. P have to say about Tucker's interview with Putin? We sat and watched the whole thing together until I finally fell asleep. She watched the last half an hour. You know, she told me about it in the morning, about the question about getting the one journalist home and stuff like that. But a lot of what I told you about were her comments. She goes, "This was the greatest chance for Putin to explain his case to the American people, and Putin completely dropped the ball." You know, that was probably, as she put it, that was probably the greatest opportunity he had to gain some sympathy, and he blew it. That was her thoughts. Linda Bopp, we are to use all caps to get your attention. If you say something and we make a comment on that, how are you going to catch the remarks of the moderator? What? We are to use all caps to get your attention. Correct. Okay. If I say something and we make a comment on that, how are you going to catch the remarks that the moderators are deleting? The moderators aren't deleting the statements to me. The moderators are deleting rude, obnoxious comments. If your comment is, if it disagrees with me, they're not going to delete it. If it's, "Hey, asshole, I disagree," it's gone. Okay. Understand, the moderators are to keep the riffraff out of here, not to keep the conversation from flowing. Sue Andrews, what do I think about bringing back commodities in place of food stamps? Oh, you mean like going back to the days of here's your loaf of bread and your pound of cheese? Yeah, we should do that. Absolutely. Because there are way too many people in this country, and I've told you the story before about me standing in line behind the guy in a market basket up in New Hampshire one time as I'm paying with cash, and I've got my ground beef and my chicken thighs there, and this guy in front of me is with T-bones and live lobsters and pays on food stamps. Okay. Yeah, I absolutely agree that the food stamp program should be completely abolished, and it should be, here's your pound of cheese, here's your pound of meat, here's your gallon of milk, here's what, however it breaks out. And that's what it should be. Okay. And I get that there's probably people here who are collecting food stamps. Now, I'm sorry, the abuse of the food stamp system is ridiculous. People selling, I've seen this happen, okay? People selling food stamps. "Hey, I'll give you $5 worth of my food stamps, give me $3 in cash." So then they could go buy a pack of cigarettes. I saw that happen in Indiana many times, back when cigarettes were $3 a pack. Hell, I remember when cigarettes were $1 a pack, and I know a bunch of you guys remember when cigarettes were probably 20 cents a pack. But yeah, I mean, the abuse of the food stamp system is insane. And I mean, again, you look at what happened with COVID. These people were going, they've got $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in their EBT card. Really? Okay. And it keeps getting added onto. And then there's other people going, "I get $23 a month." That's the problem. It should be, you are eligible or you are not eligible for food stamps. There's a line in the sand, okay? And whether you are this much above the line or this much below the line, you get the same amount of food. If you're this much below the line or this much above the line, you still get the same amount of food as the person who's this much here or this much there. Okay, that's it. Okay. Doesn't make a difference. It's just it's another government program that has got completely corrupted and completely abused. Buzzard, thoughts on early spring or more winter in store? Sorry, I left the groundhog hat upstairs, so that doesn't work. I don't know. Go watch Ryan Hall. Let him tell you what's going to happen in the next 60 days. Let's see. Love some of your questions. Any guesses on Mayorkas's replacement? He's not going to get replaced because he's not going to get kicked out of office. So that's a moot point. Holly H, how does NATO actually recruit troops? I don't know. I do not know how they do that. So that's a good question, though. Sleepy Joe. Really? That's the name you chose to be on YouTube. Mr. Biden, it's good to see you. Idiot. Go jump off a bridge, please. Hey, the next time you got to do gun control, it works like this. Test it. Uh, what's this summer looking like? Craziness. All bets are off for what happens this year, guys. I mean, I've told you many times, economists are saying we crash into second, early third quarter. I told you this morning about 945 earthquakes out in California. Let's not even talk about the southern border. Joe wanting to get us in war everywhere, martial law. Every day we wake up in the morning, I go, okay, it's another day I'm here on planet Earth, because I don't know if I'm going to be here at the end of the day with as stupid as this world has gotten. It's one of those things where we all think about, and I hope you take this seriously, is you prepare for the worst, but live your life while you got it. Okay. Get your preps done. Whatever's on the schedule. I mean, you never get done. It's a journey, not a destination. But whatever was on the plan for today. Hey, I want to can up 7 quarts of ground beef, or whatever you were going to do today. I'm going to go start my seeds, however. And then you know what? And then you go, okay, I'm going to live the life. Now I'm going to go read a book. Not necessarily a prepper book. I mean, hell, I don't care. Go read a Fabio novel. Okay. Go play with the grandkids. Go bowling. Go play golf. Go play pickleball. Whatever you do for fun. Go sit out and get a suntan. Go. Obviously not this time of year for most people, but enjoy the life you got it, because it's the one problem that preppers have, is a lot of us will go in 100%, and we forget to live the life we have. Do whatever's on the schedule. Hey, I got to clean the house today. Okay. You do, just saying, most people. I go grocery shopping on Saturday, or I do laundry on Saturday, or whatever. It's something that's in your regular schedule, right? Put some enjoyment in your regular schedule too. I mean, Mrs. P and I do this. One night a week, we have a date night. That's it. Okay? That's something. I mean, that's not the only thing we do, but I mean, that's something that's in our schedule. And we'll always have that. We'll always have the memories of that. And, sometimes it'll be going out to dinner. Sometimes it'll be something stupid, like just going, taking, a walk around wherever, and just enjoying each other's company, not thinking about work around the house or the economy or anything like that. Just enjoying each other. And you gotta live life while you have it, because none of us are promised tomorrow. Shot to the bottom. Okay. Jason Irwin, Pinball, did you get my email from Saturday night? Are you kidding me? Look, I'm going to remember. I get 100, 150 emails at least a day. Okay. I read them all. I delete a lot of it. If you send me a video, guys, I guarantee you I'm deleting it. Okay. Don't bother sending me a video. I'm not watching it. Okay. I know the information that I'm going to get, and I watch it. I understand we all watch different things. Okay. There's some people you like to watch that I wouldn't spit on. Okay. It's fine. It's your choice. There's some people that don't want to watch me forever, or for any reason. That's cool. I get it. Okay. I get so many emails, and I read them all. Okay. Don't get me wrong. But, when I get an email of, you need to watch this, and it's a link to a video, it's delete. Okay. Don't send me that. Okay. If I understand that you're trying to give, things you saw. Okay. I get that. Write me a short paragraph about why I want to watch this interview. You need to watch this. It's a delete. Hey, Pinball, this is going on in my area. Gas prices just went to $14 a gallon because of crime. That I'll pay attention to. Okay. But then give me a timestamp. Watch this between 1:03 and 2 minutes and 6 seconds. That's the important part. Okay. What your description just told me about. I mean, I kid you not, I've had people send me videos that are 2 hours long. Say, you need to watch this. Right. Because, I don't do anything all day but, sit around and play on the computer. That's my life's ambition. So, uh, I couldn't tell you, Jason, if I got your email. I mean, by now it's 500 emails ago. Tammy Shaw, do I have my cabbage seeds outside yet? No, they're still only maybe about 2 inches tall at this point. They'll probably go out sometime early March. Mr. Action One, I agree 99% of what you believe. Okay, fair enough. Maybe you think more like me than others. My opinion is not mainstream. Okay, we'll give you that. All right, I have some opinions that a lot of people will disagree with. If you agree with most of it, then hey, that's good. Okay, but one of the things is, I want to tell you what my opinion is, and if yours differs, at least you're hearing an opposing point of view and my reasoning as to why. Okay, I'm not just going to go, this is my opinion because my feelings, or this is my opinion because racism. No, this is my opinion because this fact and this fact and this fact. Pac-Man, are you going to do intermittent fasting with that diet? Mrs. P and I are still not quite there. We are, how are we doing this? The intermittent fasting we're getting right now is about 15 hours. Okay. We will have breakfast somewhere around 9 o'clock in the morning, thereabouts, and dinner somewhere around 6. That's it. Okay. There is no snacking during the day. There's no eating after 6 o'clock. That's it. Breakfast meal to dinner meal. We're supposed to get that down to a 6-hour window. And from everything that I've watched, Dr. Boz specifically, he said I need to tilt that to that 6-hour window needs to be as close to as soon as I get up, and then 6 hours. My problem is I can't eat as soon as I get up. I have never been a breakfast person in my life. I mean, for decades, my first meal of the day was lunch. Okay. I can't eat first thing in the morning. And so once I've been up 4 or 5 hours, then I can eat. So, I mean, when we're eating at 9 o'clock in the morning, I've been up 4 or 5 hours. And then dinner time rolls around. We'll probably back up dinner time, which I laugh at her. I said, hey, pretty soon we can go get the seniors discount at Denny's or something. It's the old joke, it's like never go to a restaurant at 4 o'clock because that's when all the retirees are there. I'm like, well, hell, we're there now. So, but we'll kick it back. But I'm never going to be one of these people that eats at 7 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock and that's it. But as I said to her, I said, if you think about it, if you really think about this, that is how our ancestors ate. They got up, maybe went out and milked the cows, and then came in and ate breakfast. The sun wasn't even up yet, and they had breakfast. Okay? They came in, they had what we now call lunch, what used to be called dinner. That was the big meal of the day. And then when they came in at the end of the day, they had supper, which might have been a little bit of the leftovers that were there from breakfast or lunch. That's kind of what they're trying to get us back to in this. But as for the intermittent fasting, I know we're supposed to be at 18 hours for it, but we're running at about a 15 hour. Okay. And give us, like I said, I'm 9 days, 10 days in. It was a week ago Sunday I started. So, I still gotta get through the first 2 weeks. We're still going. Brody, have I fertilized my fruit trees yet? No, I will get my, because what I use are the Job's plant spikes. Okay, that's the easiest way to fertilize it. I've got mulch and everything like that and compost around my trees, and then I put Job's plant spikes around. I will probably do that here in the next few weeks. Caveman look, I didn't like being told what to do. That's why I got out of the military. Well, the other option was to get promoted, and then you were the one telling people what to do. But so I get your point. I'm right there with you. There's some people that need to be led around by the nose. There's other people that are like, no, I can make the decisions. So let's see. Sleepy Joe, solar powered RV. Yeah, good luck on that one. You're gonna have a lot of batteries to move that much. Okay. Oh, Susan Musser, how did the nutritionist appointment go? Good question. I forgot to answer this one. So we met with the nutritionist yesterday. We had a hour-long time scheduled. It probably took us 15 minutes or whatever it was. She was somewhat informed. Okay. Instantly, right, nearly from the beginning, she wanted to push the DASH diet and, the food pyramid diet. And I told her, I said, well, I said, we can stop right there with that. I said, because the reason I'm trying to lose weight is because I've been eating the DASH diet for 30 years. Okay. So I said, we don't even have to go that. So I told her what I was doing, and I told her I said I wasn't going to wait. I said I did my research. I said I've talked to people. I've watched God knows how many videos. I told her about the NIH. She might know a little bit about it, because she was like, okay, well, she said at one point, leave eggs in, that eggs are good. She goes, it's all the bad things you've heard eggs. She goes, make sure you're eating plenty of eggs. Eggs are good. It's like, okay. But then two other things she went at, and Mrs. P was sitting there with me. She says, well, you need to have lean meats. And I said, you're wrong about that. And then she said, you really need to get vegetables in there. And I said, you're wrong about that. So I said, you're trying to go back to the balanced diet. And I said, that's the problem. Okay. I said, and I told her flat out what my doctor said. Do you snack? No. Do you drink soda? No. Do you eat pasta? Yes. Carbs, 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 carbs. I said, now we look at what you're telling me to do. I said, I need to have the fats in my diet to go into ketosis. I need to keep the carbs out of my diet, which the vegetables have. I said, I will give you that there are spinach or, green leafy vegetables are very low carb. I said, but I told her again, I said, the problem is, I said, as soon as my body takes in those carbs, they're going to burn that for energy and not burn the fat, and I'm trying to lose weight. And I said, so that's the point. And she was trying to be agreeable, but she's like, well, I'm worried about you not eating vegetables. And I'm like, I'm not. And I said, ultimately, it's my body. So that was it. I don't care what, she doesn't know me from Adam. Okay. If I walked past her in the street right now, she wouldn't recognize me. And I saw her yesterday for 15 minutes on a video chat. Big deal. Okay. She's just paid to tell me whatever her boss, who's inevitably paid by her boss, and boss, that goes, oh, you know what? Kellogg's and General Mills and Procter and Gamble are the ones that are paying for you to have a job, so you need to push our products. No, simply put, I told her, I said, my concern is blood pressure and heart disease. Okay, two things that run in my family. I said, I just want to make sure that we are monitoring this. And I've got an appointment to go have my blood tested in April. And, so I'll be about 2 months and a week in by the time I do it. I said, I said, but this is what I'm doing. You're not going to tell me otherwise. You're not going to, don't tell me, well, you need to eat lean meat. No, you're wrong. Okay. So I learned real quick from her. She didn't have a clue. She's a nutritionist and doesn't know about the diet that the National Institute of Health has said is the most effective diet to eat. That'll tell you a lot. Chris Hines, can you do tea or coffee? Yes. And you say, I do with stevia instead of sugar. Yeah, that's what Mrs. P does. Okay, Mrs. P is using the stevia. I drink my coffee black. I have for 40 years. Okay, so I mean, I don't use cream and sugar, so it's not a big deal for me. Mrs. P drinks her tea, and she's been using stevia. There's pros and cons to it. You hear some people say you should, some people say you should. Mrs. P will have the occasional Diet Coke or something. I'm just sticking to my water. Okay. Like I said at the beginning, she's trying to do more of a keto diet, leaning toward how did somebody carnivore-ish is what she's doing. I'm doing the strict carnivore. So Monty Culbertson, Speaker Johnson rejected the Senate Ukraine bill. Yeah, we talked about that a half an hour ago. Let's see. Dave the Kid, is cream in coffee okay? I was doing some research on this yesterday. There's a channel called what the hell is it called? It's like Carnivorous Chef or Chef Carnivorous or something like that. And so I was watching some of his videos, and that was where Mrs. P kind of adapted his meatball recipe for dinner tonight because it looked good. It was okay, but he was making an Alfredo sauce, and and he's like, okay, you use heavy cream, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And so I went and I looked it up. Well, heavy cream has like 7 carbs per cup. I'm like, well, that's out. Okay. I mean, I get it. I'm going to have a carb here or there. I mean, some cheese, there's, even cheddar cheese has, very low carbs, but some. But I'm like, I'm not taking something that's got 7 carbs. I mean, even on a keto diet, you're supposed to stay under 25. Okay. So, now imagine putting Alfredo sauce all over some meal. It's like, well, crap, there's my carbs for the day. But like yesterday, she had some spinach leaves with her chicken that we had for dinner last night, chicken legs for dinner last night. She's doing a carnivore-ish. I'm doing the carnivore. So, but cream in the coffee. So I was looking this up today, and some people say you can, some people say you can't. I'm looking at the carbs in it because that's where I need to lose. And so I'm staying away from the cream. But I don't use, like I said, I drink my coffee black. Rick Bandow, do I put anything on the meat like barbecue or ketchup or mustard? Barbecue, absolutely not. That's like all sugar and honey. Okay. Ketchup still is a lot of sugar. Mustard, I've seen some people that say yes. Mine is I like my Cholula hot sauce, so I will use a little bit of that. And I mean, again, there's no carbs or anything like that in there, so I'm getting the flavor without the sugars. So that's what I'm using. The diet questions at the end. Forest Ghost Preparedness, Pinball, are you stocking the pond this spring? No. Mrs. P was out there checking the fish out and feeding them the other day, and there's still a whole bunch of fish, and I mean, they're now a good 5 inches long or whatever it is. So hopefully they will be big enough to spawn this year. I don't know if they will, but they have made it through that cold and everything like that, so they're going to make it through the winter. And then if I can ever get this damn ram pump put together, we'll start pumping water in. Now, 3 days worth of rain definitely helped, but it's not full. I need to get that pond full. It's been damn near 2 years now with this thing. Let's see, I got time probably for one more here if I can find one. Montana Girl 4530. How many solar generators do I have? I'm adding to my collection. Let's see. I have the 2 Delta Pros and the 4 batteries that hook up into my whole home system. I have 5 1300s and either the Delta 2 or the original Delta 1300. I've got 1 Delta Max, and then I've got the one little one that's like my backup power just for the internet, in case the power goes out and I have to wait. If the power went out right now, we wouldn't lose internet connection. So what would that be? If you include the batteries, 6, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. But that way I've got the whole house going. I've got rotational batteries that I can use on my fridge and my freezers. And I've got power that I can run the freezer out in the garage. So that's what I got. All right, guys. 'Tis a Tuesday. 'Tis 9 o'clock. It was fun tonight. Have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.